Is audio good now? Wow. Great. We're off to a good start. So, what I said before is we have a storm outside, and I'm worried that we might lose our connection. I just hope we don't. I hope we don't lose the power or something. It's absolutely crazy out there. So, just a warning in advance if we lose me. Man, oh man. What a good start, eh? So, if you're new to this, this is the Transformer Slag podcast live stream, Saturday night hangout. I'm your host, Protoman, and we're a professional operation here, clearly. Woo! So, how we all doing? I just hope we don't lose the connection. That's my big concern. But so we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Maybe not too much on the news side, but there's still a lot of other stuff we want to discuss. And we'll take some super chats and everything. But man, that storm out there is just going nuts. It is going absolutely crazy. So I really, really hope you could kind of hear it. Maybe not. We're in the deep trenches of the basement of the Transformer room. So we're kind of safe over here. But either way, let's hope. So let's jump into the news, and then we'll do some super chat questions and just chill for the rest of the night. And hope everything works out. Let's hope. So the first piece of news is our Rise of the Beast news. So it looks like Rise of the Beasts in Montreal is going to be delayed. There has been a lot of different reasons for the delays of the movie. The planned date for the delay is going to be a new date of December 2022 for the release of the movie. Originally, it was supposed to be June or July. I think the exact date that they gave us was June 23rd, 2022, but now they've pushed it back to December of 2022 at the end of the year. Obviously, they're saying multiple reasons because of the big V. It's slowing down everything, having to deal with extras that, have to be tested. And then you have all kinds of makeup people that they have to deal with. So there's a whole bunch of delays and stuff that are going to be happening. So it does give them more time, though, they said, for a lot of B footage. If anyone saw the footage that I posted on my Twitter, so Optimus Prime, there's been a lot of B footage that's been rolling out of him with his turbo engine and everything. You could hear it whistling when he accelerates. But either way, it is delayed. But as Miyamoto, the creator of Mario, said, better to be late and be good than to be rushed and be bad forever. So I just hope it's good. I hope with the extra time that they have now, they could really cut together a really good movie. Fingers crossed. I mean, the last few have been hit or miss. But let's hope. I always go into it, cautiously optimistic, but we'll see what happens. Even a movie that's filmed here in my hometown of Montreal, we will see what happens. And let's just hope for the best for this movie and everything that comes with it. So that's the delayed date. Again, December 2022. For all we know, it could potentially be even delayed more. Maybe 2023. Who knows? Maybe they're going to want to get that summer blockbuster date. We'll hope for something, and that'll be that. Next up, speaking of kind of bad news in relation to movies also, and I talked about this in my individual segment, but I'll bring it up for here if anyone hasn't seen it already. It's about Snake Eyes, and it's about Kingdom. So we're going to start with Snake Eyes. So Snake Eyes, because that's kind of in the bubble of the Transformer universe and what's going on, we'll talk about it here because it has to do with E1 Entertainment, it has to do with Hasbro and their Allspark Productions, and everything that's just going to be moving forward in terms of what's going on with just Hasbro and their combined continuity that they wanted to do. So the past two G.I. Joe movies, they did okay. They didn't do great, but they did okay. They didn't meet the expectations that Hasbro had intended. And when you factor in advertising and everything, they probably broke even when everything was said and done. Toy sales were really weak on the G.I. Joe movie stuff. So they were really hoping with this Snake Eyes movie that to get something new, something fresh, possibly target that Pacific Rim audience. And when I mean Pacific Rim audience, I don't mean the movie. I mean, Japan, China, Vietnam, South Korea, etc., Hong Kong. So the movie didn't do well. It came out on the July 23rd, and it did not do well. Currently, as of this recording, it is at $31.9 million on their $88 to $110 million budget. Yeah, that's a bomb. It's not looking good. And it's so much so a bomb, and this is the bottom of the image here, that Amazon has already announced the DVD release for the movie. And then quickly cut the price on the DVD release of the movie. So it is not looking good for Snake Eyes. The toys are probably going to see a similar fate, which is unfortunate. I talked with a few Hasbro people, and they felt that they kind of messed up a little bit when it came to the release of the Snake Eyes toys, with the Shang-Chi toys sharing shelf space together with a similar kind of aesthetic and packaging. And they felt that that could create confusion, not with hardcore fans or anything, but with parents or anyone that might be interested in buying product for their children, for the, small few people that, still collect toys that are under the age of 10. But yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And the flip side of it also, and this goes to Kingdom, Kingdom didn't have really good viewer numbers. The only indication that we have really is the Netflix trending. It really just disappeared off of the trending very quickly. People were just not interested in seeing it. And I mean, regardless of the opinions of Kingdom, some people liked it, some people didn't. Some people said it was the best of the trilogy, but still wasn't that great. Regardless of your opinions of it, not a lot of people watched it. Sure, us, the hardcore fans did, but the general audience did not, and that is not a good thing. Primarily because the whole point of these movies, these miniseries is to engage a new audience and get new Transformer fans into the product and to then go out and buy the toys. It's going to be a little rough. It's going to be a little rough ride, and whatever's going to happen next is going to happen next, and that'll be that. A certain executive producer of Kingdom was not happy with my review and openly complained on one of my segments and then got eviscerated by the comment section. So guys, do be nice to FJ. He doesn't really know what he's doing. So just be nice to him. He's got it tough as it is. He did a good Cyborg 009 comic. The comic was good. But, I don't know. Transformers is not his forte, I guess. Maybe they'll get it better next time. Either way, just wanted to talk about those two. It's not looking good for Hasbro's two properties in terms of eyeballs on the audience and the product. But we'll see what the future brings, because we still got more coming for the Transformers brand. Toy sales were great. Toy sales were just fine. Probably better than ever, if anything. But, the way I see it is just right now, this didn't do well. But, I mean, look, there's been tons of speed bumps in the past for the Transformers brand. And we just keep moving forward, and then we just do the next best thing. I've said it in the past many times on this stream. 1992 was the worst year for Transformers in terms of output and everything. And then Generation 2 gave them a really rough year also in 1994. It was just not a good time. Power Rangers was huge. It was coming off the tail end of Ninja Turtles. It was the comic book boom. It was, there was video games, Street Fighter, arcades. There was a lot of good content out there, and people just weren't interested in Transformers. But then after that came Beast Wars, and we all know how well that worked out. So let's just call it as it is, and that'll be that. So next up, let's talk about some new product that has been leaking out. So we got a new listing, courtesy of JT Prime, and it looks like we're going to have two more Transformers RED listings, the Robot Enhanced Design, and it looks like we're going to be getting a Generation 1 Cliff Jumper and a Transformers Prime Dark Energon Megatron. We already do have confirmed that we will be getting at some point a regular Transformers Prime Megatron. So chances are this will be a clear purple repaint, if anything. Again, an easy repaint to save money on the engineering and tooling. Maybe it might get some new accessories or something. We don't know. We don't even know what the actual Megatron's going to look like yet. So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe you'll have a big cannon, something different. The Cliff Jumper obviously is probably going to be a heavy, extensive retool of the Bumblebee that we've already seen and known. So we will see what happens, but at least we know these two are coming. You know, someone's buying these because Hasbro's put out a lot of product of this and they have a lot of plans for the future. So clearly there is some kind of market for it. Maybe it's not so much the hardcore fans, but maybe more the casual fans or the fans that already collect stuff like Black Series or Marvel Legends. And they kind of want to get into Transformers, but they might be a little, I guess, spooked by all the other stuff. So we'll see what happens. Again, it's interesting. Again, Cliff Jumper's a character I kind of like. So he's one of those that if the toy turns out really well, I might actually consider it. I've yet to buy a single robot enhanced design figure yet. I'd like to probably pick up Transformers Prime RC. Haven't seen her yet in the wild. But aside from that, you know, all the others are kind of passable for now. Again, I messed with my friend Soundwave. I dug what they tried to do, but at the same time, I kind of like what Super 7 is doing more, even though it's a little more expensive. But, you know, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Speaking of non-transforming product, but from the other side of the globe, Farai model kits, more specifically Flame Toys, showed today off their straight build, as it's called, of the IDW Rodimus model kit that they're doing of their Farai model designs. What a straight build is when you just build the kit straight out of the box. No glue, no nothing, no paint, no Gundam markers, no line paneling, nothing. Just a straight build, and that's what a straight build is. And it still looks fantastic. It still looks really, really good. This is like straight out of the box. It looks like there's at least 6 to 7 runners there. It looks really good. I dig it a lot. The MSRP is between $35 and $40. It's going to be about 6 inches. So it's a little bit between the modern day Deluxe and a modern day Voyager. So it could probably fit in your collection, even if it doesn't transform. It has a nice aesthetic design to it. So people will really dig that. And again, for $35 and you get to have a good model making experience, it'll be pretty fun. The thing with these things also, you got to understand, you know, they're pretty easy to build. Like I'm a seasoned model kit kind of guy, but I also build stuff like the simple Kabaya kits and everything. And I could see people who have never built model kits before having no problem with these, because I built like the Thundercracker, the Starscream, the Bumblebee, and you know, they're pretty simple. They're pretty simple. And if you're curious how like the straight build looks different from the previous art, so they did a side by side here. So on the left is the straight build, and on the right is all of the stock art that they've been putting out there. Like this is what the product looks like. So you could clearly see the difference there. Painting, paneling. It adds like a final pop to the product, but at the end of the day, still looks pretty good, even fresh out of the box. So actually, the only difference now that I just noticed between the two is they decided to put the blasters on his wrists with the straight build, where the painted final product one is not so much the case. But I mean, I still think it looks great. They did a fantastic job, and I want to see more. And I definitely have this already on pre-order. Something that I'm going to pick up. I might even want to get a second one if I really like it. But the good thing with these model kits and stuff like that is they usually don't sell out and sell out forever, because they're so simple to manufacture and they're so cheap to manufacture theyese things that we're probably going to see these perpetually for a very long time. Much like how Bandai with their Gundam kits, they just reissue the same kits over and over for like, man, it's got to be almost 2.5 decades now, if not more, since they started the high grade stuff. Some of those old high-grade kits are still getting reissued to this day. And so I could kind of see Flame Toys, if they keep the trademark and the license with Hasbro with Transformers, we could see these kits for a very long time. But I like them. I think they look great. From what I've built thus far, specifically, I really like the Bumblebee. They do a very good job. So I'm really excited about this Rodimus one. It's going to look really good. And again, that IDW version doesn't have many interpretations, unfortunately, from an official capacity. I have a few third-party ones, but nothing officially. So it'd be really nice to get an official something something. And this thing, according to its packaging, has 50 points of articulation, so it's ridiculously articulated as opposed to, let's say, what we just showed before with the RED stuff, which I believe has 16 or 17 points of articulation. So yeah, check that out. Pretty cool. Again, and pretty affordable too. Pretty affordable. You just need to have a little bit of elbow grease and some building skills. All you need is a pair of clippers and a little bit of sanding paper, if anything, at most. Even a pair of clippers might even be enough. But yeah, looks awesome. And last but not least, last piece of news that we're going to cover is that of the big news of our first look at Shadow Panther. So, Vietnamese message boards. I can't really pin one because there was many of them that were sharing this image around, so the original source cannot be pinned. But we got our first look at the robot mode of the Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Deluxe class Shadow Panther. Now, we knew about this character on the bottom right there. JT Prime 17 posted it in August of the 21st of 2020. So almost completely a year ago we learned about this. And we had the listing for Shadow Panther for Walmart. Doesn't mean it's a Walmart exclusive. We don't know that, but it was a Walmart listing where we first learned about this. Then, of course, a couple of weeks ago, we got that art in the middle that we have here, which is the box art for the character, which let us know that he is going to have his head sculpt of a mutant head, which, again, if you look on the right there, historically, that character has sported mutant heads, although as an optional thing, because it always had the Cheetor head, too, up to that point. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. The image that we have here on the left, it shows him holding two tails. Now, I think that's more so just a mistake, if anything else, by the guys who stole it from the factory. I think that they stole it, and as a result, because they stole it, they just took two tails, or maybe there was two tails on the runner. I do not know. I'm not in the factory. I don't know what's on Cheetor's runner per se, but either way, there's two tails in that image. It does not mean there's going to be two tails with the figure. It's probably just going to have the one tail, and that'll be that. It's a repaint of the Cheetor with mild resculpting with the head and stuff like that. But hey, it's a black repaint. Everyone loves a black repaint. Looks pretty hype. It's going to be already now the third repaint, technically, of this Cheetor mold in its short lifespan. We already have the Netflix one on top of the original Kingdom one. And probably we're going to see more. And I mean, if you even want to count Tigatron and his future repaints too, if you want to count that in with the Cheetor tooling, but that's a Voyager that's been upsized. But either way, pretty cool. I dig it. But, we need to see more images. I mean, obviously the Black Panther mode, I don't think you need to really have to use too much imagination to figure out how that one's going to look. But it is what it is. Also want to plug some stuff, so we're going to plug some things. So Toy Armada with Aaron Archer, been working on a new web series with Aaron Archer of Hasbro. We talk about different toy brands through the Hasbro and the Kenner years, behind the scenes, talk about how they were developed. And so the very first episode, which we did on Star Wars, is now live, and you could check that out. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Join that. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, leave your questions there, and we're going to answer them in the next segment, which we're probably going to record the next segment probably in the near future, because we want to do these probably once a month. We're thinking we'll do one segment of all kinds of stuff like that, but we'll see what happens. We got a super chat from Roman. Roman wants to know, Proto Man, do you think the chance we'll see characters like Long Rack and Kingdom? I would like that, in all honesty. I would like to see some Beast Wars Neo characters and stuff like that, but I think that we're not there yet. I really do. If there was a way that you could kind of retool something into Long Rack, like if there was a character that had a similar kind of aesthetic. I can't think of any offhand right now of what exists from it, but if we had something that had a similar kind of aesthetic to a giraffe, we could probably see a Long Rack retooled from that. But something straight up, a brand new sculpted mold of Long Rack, I don't think anytime soon. It's more just when the time comes and when they feel they're ready for it, if anything else. But yeah, thank you for the question. Let's see. So we have that we covered. And then next up also, I'm going to be in Toy Robot Magazine. I'm also on the cover. I didn't expect that, but I'm going to be in Toy Robot Magazine, issue number 4 of the volume of this year. And I'm going to be doing an interview there. I think there's some pictures of my collection too that are also going to be featured in it. It's just a short interview. I don't know exactly 100% what's going to be in the interview. I did a 5-hour interview with them, and they obviously pieced together a full-page article about me and in the Transformer world and all the stuff that I've worked on. So in the replay of this stream, I will post the link below if you want to pre-order this issue specifically, so you don't have to go out and grab it through other means. Just get it directly to your door, that specific issue. Apparently they're going to do 2 special covers. They're going to do like a holographic cover and a regular matte cover, so you have 2 options too of how you want to have your covers for this. Pretty cool. I just wanted to point that out there. Hey, Toy Robot, check that out. Kind of putting myself over in a small sense, but I just didn't expect. It's an interview I did, I want to say, about 6 months ago, and now something's coming of it, I guess. Pretty cool. Either way, just wanted to point that out too. Also, let's talk about our sponsors, Symbiote Studios. They provide the clothing that we wear on the podcast, the pins that we wear, and the plush that's chilling in the back there. Today we have Snake Eyes because of the Snake Eyes movie. So check Symbiote Studios out with all their stuff. They are the official Transformers plush line. Always putting out new product, always working on different Hasbro brands, whether it be Magic the Gathering, My Little Pony, Power Rangers, Transformers, G.I. Joe. They do t-shirts, they do pins, they do everything. And they got a lot more stuff coming. Let me tell you, they got a lot more stuff coming. Again, if you want the Snake Eyes like the one in the background there, you get them with Timber, which is adorable. $29.99. These things are huge, by the way. Don't let that fool you all the way back there. He's like the size of my head. Pretty huge. And they're also working on something else in relation to another Hasbro brand. So be sure to check that one out. And then another teaser. This is going to be a convention exclusive and will be later a online exclusive of a very important character, a Chaos Bringer, if you will. So be sure to check that out. That's next in their line. I believe we would call it Wave 3 at this point. So that's also going to be coming. So check them out, symbiotestudios.com. They got a lot of cool stuff. And they're great dudes. They support the podcast. They work with Hasbro and everything. Great stuff. That went wrong. That went down the wrong pipe. Water's good for you, people. Woo. Don't die. So how we all doing? So we'll do some super chat questions. And, we already have some. And I always promote water. And this one almost killed me. I saw one right here. Where we got? Super chat question from Princeton. Princeton wants to know. Thank you, by the way, Princeton, for all the love and support for the podcast and everything that you do for us. Hi, Proto Man. Did you see the Shockwave Lab SL111, the Eye LED set for HasLab Unicron? Are you planning on getting it? There has been a lot of different third-party kit stuff that people have been showing me in relation to the HasLab set. I saw that one with the LED lights. It's pretty cool. I think that was there was another LED kit too that someone was showing because it's just so easy to install. But at the same time, I didn't see that one though specifically. I saw another one where someone is doing a whole bunch of little minifigs for here, I actually have it right here on my desk. For all the little, displays here. You know what? Look, the third-party market is all high-end collectors. It's all guys that spend a lot of money. They spend a lot of money on a lot of stuff. So I could totally see at some point them just, a whole bunch of them just focusing on Unicron. I'm surprised no one has done replacement wings just so you could have both modes. Like there's one third-party company that's done it, Mikey Studios and with Louie and everything. But I'm surprised more people hasn't stepped up to the plate for that because it would seem like easy money. People like I'm using Mikey's upgrade set and I have both modes on display with one purchase. that's easy money for people if whoever steps up the plate to do that, So between making ships, for the displays, between the little slag figures, and by slag I mean slag as in plastic slag or slugs, whatever you want to call them. Making those little plastic slug figures. There's so much ideas that could be done with that Unicron. New face sculpts, all kinds of things. All kinds of stuff that, any of the criticisms that exist for that HasLab Unicron third party could rectify. I mean, has there ever been a high-end kit that high-end release that hasn't had some kind of third party something? All of our combiners getting different hands, different upgrades, different extensions. We spend all this money on a combiner set, and then we have to buy all these upgrades for it. So Unicron should be no different, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. And I I like what I got. The only upgrade kit I have for it is really just that. LED lights would be cool too, but the thing with me with like battery stuff and everything, and I'll probably get into that in a moment with what I got this week. I probably should have covered that too, but I don't like to leave batteries in my stuff. Because I have like these animated, you can't see them because of the microphone, but you have like these animated figures that have batteries in them, and they always talk and stuff. Like they just go off, and I'm just like, okay, taking the batteries out of this because one day they're gonna bust, one day they're gonna leak, and it's gonna be a mess. So, but I hope that kind of answers your question, Princeton. Again, thanks for the super chat, brother, and thanks for everything. We got a super chat from Downright Superb. And he writes here, I rewatched Transmutate, and it's just stellar. Hasbro is pissing away the Beast Wars IP. Celebrate it. Are they obstacles for a big Blu-ray re-release? Well, number one, Transmutate is a fantastic episode. Anything Season 2 Beast Wars. I like Season 2 Beast Wars. I feel start to finish is flawless. Like, to me, it's just the best, like, piece of Transformer anything. It had, the Agenda episodes. It had Code of Hero. It had Transmutate. It had, like, Coming of the Fusers Part 1 and 2, which was also great with all that, spaghetti Western kind of stuff and great soundtrack. Just fantastic. Just fantastic. And Transmutate is a great episode that has so many underlying meanings and stuff that are being said there. And, look, hey, if it was being pissed away, then we wouldn't have had already our third Transmutate official figure right now, and fourth if you count third party. I think that it's just Hasbro. I think the reason why we see so much G1, it's not really because of us. It's because, I've said this before, the Chinese market of Transformer collectors, they didn't grow up with Beast Wars. 95 to 1999, if you want to drizzle a little bit into 2000 with Beast Machines, they didn't get that. They didn't get it. They got G1 in many different kinds of shapes and forms, but very late in G1's lifespan. They didn't get it in 84 direct, so they got it then. And then as you move forward into like Beast Wars, that just didn't happen. It wasn't part of the footprint of their culture there. The movies became a big deal. That really opened up Transformers for them. And then they looked back to Generation 1 as their nostalgia. And the reason why I bring this all up, because China's a big buying power for Transformers. So Hasbro always is going to lean on that Beast Wars stuff for us, but they're going to still have a G1 presence in everything else. Look, we have a Rise of the Beast movie, and it's still going to have Truck Optimus and Camaro Bumblebee, which says a lot about their confidence in just doing Beast Wars. Look at Kingdom. It is how it is, unfortunately. And anyone who knows me, I think Beast Wars is probably the best piece of Transformer media ever created, if not the 86 movie. But at the same time, I know how what sells is what's the most important. And while Beast Wars would sell very well in the Western market, because there is a huge age demo that grew up on Beast Wars and loved that show, you can't deny 4.4 billion people on the other side of the globe that are buying up those, Truck Optimus chest figures over and over and over. And they make up a lot of it. Your second question here, is there obstacles for a big Blu-ray release? I don't think there is obstacles. Shout Factory did their re-release because Beast Wars on DVD was originally from Rhino. Rhino did an amazing DVD box set back in the day that was spectacular, had a whole bunch of extras on it. Then Shout Factory did their DVDs, which literally the quality was pretty much the same. The only thing that sucks is there's still a whole bunch of interviews from back in the day with Scott McNeil and stuff during the recording sessions from Splat TV. This is like way back in the day, where you got to see like the episode Call of the Wild, not Call of the Wild, Law of the Jungle. You got to see the episode Law of the Jungle filmed in real time, like seeing, you know, a young Gary Chalk and you know, Scott McNeil doing some lines from the show in the studio. So it was really cool to see that kind of stuff, and interviews with Bob Ford and everything. All of that footage would have been great on the DVD. You could easily find it on YouTube, don't get me wrong, but it'd be cool if it was on the DVD for people also. So maybe one day we'll get a Blu-ray. Look, let's put it this way. We don't have a Blu-ray of G1 yet. And I know how the G1 fans will be. If Beast Wars gets a Blu-ray before them, you know what's going to happen. I grew up on G1, but I'm just saying, I know how some G1 fans are. I see those guys in the comments all the time. Oh, it's a Beast Wars thing? Looks like I'm going to be skipping this year. You know? So it's and then, of course, they got like literally 70% of the Kingdom line was still G1 characters. But anyways, that's a whole other story. But I think we'll get Beast Wars at some point at Blu-ray. I mean, I think what we got thus far in terms of the DVDs are still very good, and Beast Wars is, in my opinion, still holds up. I still think it's a fantastic series. You know, episodes like Guerrilla Warfare, you know, it's always been my go-to to like go like, this is why Beast Wars is awesome. But either way, I hope that answers a little bit. I mean, I hope there's a Blu-ray. I really do. But we'll see what happens. You know, but thanks, Downright Superb. Thanks for the question, man, and all the love and support that you give the podcast. All the love and support. We got a question from Michael Koo. King Michael Koo. Good old Michael. Always hooking us all up. Michael wants to know, when Hasbro sells Takara Tomy release in the USA, does Hasbro get the rights to the repaint, retool, or in the Japan mold? So when you get, and this has happened in the past, when you get a Takara Tomy sold product that is Takara Tomy packaging, how it works in that case, because there's not much of that. They're at one point they were kind of doing it, and then they stopped. So what they do is, that is when Hasbro is a distributor rather than making product. The product is made, and then it's put in packaging. Like let me just grab. I'm trying to grab a random figure here. Yeah. Like, to give an example, right? So Studio Series 86 Hot Rod. It's manufactured in the factories, and then it's shipped to two different companies. Shipped to the Lungai. Actually, let me get the packaging, because I keep the packaging nearby. It's shipped to the Lungai, if the Zoom will even let me. You see, guys, right there, the top of the paragraph, 2020 Hasbro. Then it says Lungai, Canada, Quebec. So it's shipped there, packaging, that's done, and then because that's for the Western market, it's distributed to the Western market. This same figure also leaves Vietnam and goes to Japan, packaged for their market, and that's that. The figures that are packaged obviously for Hasbro, the money goes for Hasbro. The stuff that's packaged for Takara is made money for Takara. When Takara packages product, like you're mentioning here, and then it's imported to the Western world, and then Hasbro is just a distributor of it, both of them are making money, but it's mostly Takara that makes the lion's share of it, and then Hasbro tries to work out their profit margin of that. That's why we don't see many of that stuff, of the Takara Tomy kind of imports. Best example of that, Movie Masterpiece. Movie Masterpiece being the best of that we see in that market. Movie Masterpiece is unique in itself because it's something that's made for the Japanese market. It's something that's made for the Western market, and it's also made for the Chinese market, and that's why it's the only masterpieces we see now in basic retail. So that's kind of how that works, more or less. But yeah, pretty much. So thanks for that question, Michael. We have, let's see, we have a few super chats in between. I'll just grab this one for now, and then I'll get to the others. I'll get to what I got this week in a moment. It's nothing too special, but it's still something. If China is downright superb wants to know if China is so important, Hasbro should invest and make Chinese dubs for Beast Wars along with a new Blu-ray DVD. Hype China, who has missed out. Well, the thing is Hasbro is investing in China. They know that the birth rate is a lot more appealing to China. Like that, like they look at the birth rates in the Western world and they look at the birth rates for China, and they know there's going to be a lot of kids in China, as opposed to, let's say, the Western world. For every, like, I think it's for every 4 people, there's 1 child or something. In America now, it's looking like that, and we're not like Japan bad. Japan has it pretty bad too with the birth rates, but we're, they're looking, going like, hey, let's make rescue bot stuff and more, simpler kind of transformer stuff for that market, because that could potentially be the future, and they're investing in that. For them to dub in Chinese Beast Wars, that's a different story. I do know that Beast Wars has been subtitled in Chinese, because I have seen subtitled versions of Beast Wars in Chinese, primarily from the bootleg market. So I know that there is probably, if there is hardcore Chinese Transformer fans, they probably have access to that. The question is, would a Chinese dub be done like the Japanese way, or would it be done like our way, which was much more serious? If anyone knows how the dub for Beast Wars was in Japan. So, but you know what? I hope they do get it, because then we'd probably get a lot of cool Beast Wars product made towards us. But we will see. We will see. We will see what happens. Where we at? We had a question here. It was from Stinkfist69. Proto Man, did you get anything this past week for your collection? Okay, yeah, I might as well jump into that. Just got this. Got this guy for $2. Nothing special. $2 Canadian. So that's like, 10 cents American. Boulder, the non-transforming rescue bot. Take your figure and put it inside there kind of thing. Whenever I see these guys cheap, I always pick them up, because they're just these solid, non-transforming. All the paint is on one side and then none of the paint on the other. Very simple kind of product by Hasbro. What year was this? This was 2013. Woo. Man, time flies. 2013. Jeez. But yeah, so, pick that up on the cheap. Got a Mighty Max figure. Little Mighty Max play set